Grand Rising, and welcome to another segment of CLG View Point. It's actually segment number 26. I am Cindy Lorraine Grais, and it is an absolute honor to have you here today with me. It's Wednesday, February the 26th, 2025. Now today we will be covering scientific evidence shows crystals can amplify our energy. Aquaculture company sues over end of fish farm license renewals in Discovery Islands. 82-year-old Oakville man loses $750,000 to an investment scam. Alberta's infrastructure minister resigns over procurement concerns. New Delhi chalks out oil tanker production plan. And we have a video on the UAE and New Technology in Aquaculture. And the Inspirational Soul of Light today is the most beautiful Queen Lili U Kaloni. She was the only reigning monarch in the Hawaiian Kingdom. Well, each segment I like to start with a sage clearing. I take a sage stick and this clears out all the negative energies that are around. Prevents all that little bit of chaos that they can create. But it is definitely has its learning experiences. There we go. To all low energy entities, you are healed, forgiven, enlightened, and sent back to your perfect place and escorted by my spiritual guides. And so it is. Now we're left with positive energy, and only divine love and divine lights are welcomed here. And so it is. Now today we are going to start with a short video on crystals.
A crystal is a physical substance that is highly ordered on the atomic level.
Crystals are a lattice structure. Crystals have taken molecules or atoms or ions arranged together in a very energy efficient way.
And scientists believe that this order and this structure actually reflects the geometry of energy that we cannot see on the quantum level.
They're just this perfect embodiment of sacred geometry in the physical.
It's the crystal matrix, the organization of the molecular structure in specific geometrical forms that determines that all energies that go through the crystal will either be transformed or amplified.
So when we look at a crystal, we're looking at a physical expression in our world of a higher form of energy expressing from perhaps many other different worlds. From a scientific perspective,
I have 3 crystals here to show you today. This one here is a Lemurian crystal. It's Lemurian. And I have a rose quartz. It's beautiful, isn't it? I have many crystals. And lastly is the amethyst crystal. They're all healing crystals. There we go. Now we're on next to Good news. Local news. Aquaculture company sues over end of fish farm license renewals in Discovery Islands. Time column is written by Carla Wilson on February 25th, 2025. Cermak says it has lost millions, yes, millions of dollars as a result of a flawed process leading to the 2023 decision. Aquaculture company Cermak Canada Limited is suing the federal government for refusing to issue fish farm licenses in the Discovery Islands, saying it has lost millions of dollars as a result of a flawed decision-making process. 2023, then Federal Minister of Fisheries, Joyce Murray, decided not to renew fish farm licenses in the Discovery Islands, located off the east coast of Vancouver Island between Campbell River and the mainland. Last year, the federal court turned down a challenge to the federal decision from 2 First Nations and salmon farms. Judge Paul Favell wrote that Murray's decision met consultation requirements and did not breach operators' rights to fairness. A Fisheries and Oceans Canada official says it's unable to comment on the latest suit because it's before the courts. In the notice of civil claim filed in the Supreme Court of BC in Vancouver on February the 18th, Cermaq is seeking general and other damages. It did not name a dollar amount. The suit names the Attorney General of Canada, the Ministry of Fisheries and Oceans, and the Canadian Coast Guard, and Joyce Murray. Cermaq said it began operating in the Discovery Islands area in 1989 and employed about 50 people per year. Its salmon farms in that area historically represented about 20% of the company's annual business, the company said. Quote, Cermaq's operations have substantially contributed to the North Island economy through employment opportunities as well as contractual arrangements that have provided tens of millions of dollars per year to local businesses, including Indigenous-owned businesses, it said. The full production cycle from spawning of brood stock to harvesting takes 7 to 8 years, the claim said. Once in the Discovery Islands farms, fish were harvested after 18 months to 2 years, a schedule that is well known to the federal government, it said. Now, Cermaq has consent to operate agreements and support from the Waikam First Nation and the Klahoose First Nation, the claim said. It said federal officials did not notify it in early 2023 of additional meetings with scientists, activities, environmental, non-governmental organizations known to oppose agriculture, and the company was not given the opportunity to respond to them. The 2023 decision prohibited aquaculture at Discovery Island farms without adequate notice of justification, the claim said. As a result of the decision, Cermaq was forced to sell its smolts intended for Discovery Island farms, the claim said. The decision, quote, removed all reasonable uses of Cermaq's property and related rates, close quote, the claim said, and made its specialized facilities, equipment, and infrastructure useless. The company said it had lost millions of dollars in profit and incurred severance and remediation costs and was forced to sell eggs, smolts, and fish at a loss as a result of an unfair and unreasonable decision. The federal decision effectively resulted in the expropriation of Cermaq's property interests without compensation, the claim said. My personal thoughts. Why such a rush to shut down Cermaq's Discovery Island farms with unfair lack of communication practices? Was it due to a push to create artificial famine? What does natural law say about fish farms? Something to look into. An 82-year-old Oakland man loses $750,000 to an investment scam. Do you know how long I had to work to make that money? Said by Pat Foran, February the 25th, 2025. Criminals are constantly trying to find new ways to steal your money. The latest scam, creating fake websites that will pop up in a Google search in hopes of getting you to enter your personal information. CTV News spoke to one Ontario senior who lost most of his life savings after searching online to find the best interest rate to invest in GICs. I'm devastated. $750,000 is a lot of money, said the 82-year-old Walter Yamka of Oakville. Quote, I thought I was on the PC Financial website, close quote. Yamka said it was last October when he had $750,000 worth of GICs mature and decided to search online to find the best interest rate possible. He said he went to Google and typed in, quote, best rates for GICs, and was taken to a website for PC Financial and then called the number on the website. I said I can come up with $750,000. And the person on the phone said, quote, we can give you a 6.5% interest rate on a GIC, which I thought was great, said Yamka. Well, Yamka was sent documents with PC Financial letterhead, and he was given a direct phone line to deal with someone who would help him make the purchase. He then went to a CIBC bank branch and asked them to transfer the money to purchase the GICs. However, it turned out the website was a fake, and he had been scammed out of $750,000. Yamka said he later found out that the criminals had been using the names of actual PC Financial employees and impersonating. CTV News reached out to CIBC and a spokesman said, this is a very unfortunate situation, which highlights the importance of being suspicious when contacted by unknown parties and confirming details before authorizing a transaction. We would work hard to protect our clients, including seniors, from fraud, said CIBC. And I have a video to show you.
Lookalike websites that will pop up in a Google search, hoping will hand over your personal information. Pat Ford has our story on Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. A senior was looking to invest in GICs and did a Google search. He clicked on a website that looked like the real thing, but it was a scam site, and he ended up losing $750,000.
You thought you were on the real PC Financial website.
Of course I did.
82-year-old Walter Yamka of Oakville says last fall he had $750,000 in GICs with CIBC. He was searching for a better interest rate and typed best GIC rates into the Google search engine. He clicked on a website that appeared to be PC Financial's and called their phone number.
I said, I can come up with $750,000. He said, oh, we'll give you 6.5% on a GIC.
Yamka received documents with PC Financial letterhead and went to his bank and asked them to transfer the money, but the website was a fake and he was scammed out of $750,000.
They sent me a graph showing that in 1 year I was going to come up with $798,000. I've got zero, nothing.
Yamka says his bank should have known it was a scam, as the money was transferred to a bank account not associated with PC Financial.
The bank should confirm the receivers that they're legitimate.
PC Financial has a warning on its website about the GIC scam and told CTV News, PC Financial does not promote or sell GICs in person, over the phone, or through email. CIBC called it a very unfortunate situation and said, our team is trained to ask questions when a client is performing a large transaction, which we did in this case. If a client authorizes a transaction, it would be processed as per their request.
These scams are becoming that much more sophisticated.
Cybersecurity experts say criminals are able to create websites and documents that are almost indistinguishable from the real thing.
I think there is a responsibility on financial institutions to make sure that the money is being transferred to a legitimate account.
Yamka says losing so much money has been disastrous for his finances.
$750,000 You know how long I'd have to work to make that money?
And you can still file a complaint with the Ombudsman for Banking Services and Investments. Anyone who has a problem with a bank and is not satisfied with the outcome can use the Ombudsman to review their case. So on your side, I'm back for him.
My personal thoughts. This is definitely a sad story. And because of the mass corruption of fraud, could push clients to stop online banking, especially if it is investment banking. Did the bank do its due diligence in making sure that the funds were being sent to a legitimate receiver? Absolutely not. Who in their right mind would release $750,000 without doing a thorough investigation on a receiver? I personally think that the bank is responsible for letting go of the money and should cover the loss. What do you think? Alberta Minister of Infrastructure Peter Guthrie has resigned from his seat at the cabinet table, citing concerns over, quote, the government of Alberta's procurement practices across all departments, close quote. Written by Ken McGilvery of Global News on February the 25th, 2025. In a letter to his constituents posted on social media, Guthrie announced his resignation from cabinet, but said he will remain a private member of the government caucus, where he can, quote, hold cabinet accountable with honesty and integrity, close quote. Guthrie said that as a minister of infrastructure, he had, quote, line of sight, close quote, into the provincial government's procurement practices and, quote, inconsistencies, close quote, and claimed he recommended improvements that could have prevented some of the issues that have developed into the scandal and allegations of corruptions now facing the UCP government. His resignation comes almost 2 weeks after the former head of Alberta Health Services filed a wrongful dismissal lawsuit against the province. My personal thoughts. A full forensic audit. Yes, a full forensic audit. Now, international news. New Delhi chalks out oil tanker production. India is investing in a domestically built crude carrying fleet as Western sanctions target energy trade. RT News in February 25th, 2025. New Delhi is eyeing domestic manufacture of oil tankers in an effort to reduce the risk of running foul of Western sanctions against Russia's energy sector, Business Line reported on Tuesday. The outlet cited an official from India's Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, who stated that the government will back manufacturers through SPVs, which are special purpose vehicles, that will be formed by the state-owned Shipping Corporation of India, SCI, oil marketing companies, dockyards, and financial institutions. An Indian Oil Ministry survey from 1 year ago identified the need for an extra 100 tankers, varying from a few thousand metric tons of dead weight to ultra-large crude carriers, according to industry watchers. Domestic manufacturing will also help India reduce its oil import bill, which currently stands at $100 billion. It's $100 billion. India has emerged as Russia's second largest oil buyer in the past 2 years. In 2024, India imported crude oil worth 49 billion euros from Russia, according to a recent report by the Energy and Clean Air Research Center. China has imported Russian oil worth 78 billion euros, and Turkey 34 billion euros, the report stated. Western governments announced large-scale sanctions in January targeting Russian oil and gas exporters and a so-called, quote, shadow fleet of oil tankers transporting crude, a move that affected India, which depends on sea transport for energy imports. New Delhi officials have stated that no disruption to Russian oil imports is expected, at least until March, when the new restrictions will take effect. Head of the state-owned Indian Oil Corporation told PTI agency earlier this month that the company is buying, quote, clean Russian crude oil, close quote, that does not risk running afoul of U.S. sanctions. Moscow, meanwhile, vowed to continue supplying oil to global markets despite sanctions pressure. Speaking at India Energy Week in New Delhi earlier this month, the first deputy energy minister insisted that while the impact of illegal sanctions imposed by the outgoing Biden administration remains to be assessed, Moscow will continue strengthening its energy ties with its major energy partners. Personal thoughts. The oil must be transported, and it will be. No USA sanctions is going to stop the transportation of the Russian oil to all the countries that are of need. A video on the UAE and New Technology in Aquaculture.
Entrepreneur is using an innovative technique to grow food in the desert. He's using a fish farm. The experimental approach has allowed him to produce up to 3 times the yield of conventional farms while reducing water use by 90%. The farm in Lorraine, which is more than 100 kilometers from the sea, grows fruit and vegetables in abundance in all seasons.
I'm Abdurrahman Rashid Saeed Al Shamsi. I'm the owner of this farm. I use the new system. It is called Aquaculture system. And this is farm, and it is very good system and sustainable system also.
Each of these 12 pools has up to 50,000 tilapia fish. The water from the pools is distributed to the farm through drip irrigation, and the fish waste, which is rich in ammonia, is used as a fertilizer. Another innovative concept is the on-site bacteria producing factory. It converts inactive bacteria to active bacteria, which is then added to the water in the fish pools and also mixed with the soil in the field. Bacteria in the fish pools converts ammonia to nitrites and then nitrates. And then plants absorb the nitrates as nutrients. When fish grow to market size, they are sold and replaced with new fish reared from eggs.
I buy an active bacteria 5% and honey 5%, and the water it is 90%, and I merge it together and I close it without any air. Then after 15 days it will come active bacteria.
Every year the farm produces 150,000 kilograms of fruit and vegetables, including dates, pomegranates, watermelon, zucchini, cabbage and mangoes. It also produces 50,000 kilograms of tilapia every year. Plastic coverings on soil help in pest control and soil moisture conservation. The farm also raises special chicken known as Lamborghini chicken, a rare breed from Indonesia that has jet black feathers. It is considered to be among the most expensive chicken breeds in the world, and according to reports, it can fetch thousands of US dollars. The farm is self-sufficient and sustainable, as the food for the fish as well as the animals are all grown on the farm. The fish feeds on these floating ferns called azolla, and the livestock feed on alfalfa crops. Both are grown in-house, thereby reducing the farm's operating costs.
It is like almost from 25,000 to 30,000 monthly. I get a good profit here because I use new technique, new thing.
Mr. Al-Shamsi, who has won several awards for this enterprising concept, believes his farm can serve as a prototype for tackling water and food security in arid environments.
You know, we are facing the challenge not just for UAE, for all the world and for all the place. It has a desert, and you know this is unique and very good sustainable system which I do here, and I am maintaining by low cost, high quality, and too much quantity.
In a country where more than 80% of the food is imported, Mr. Al-Shamsi is championing local, organic, and sustainable food.
Could this new technology be used here in Canada to help improve our food sustainability? Something to think about, learning from our neighbors, the UAE. I am Cindy Lorraine Grais of CLG View Point, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you being here today with me. If you feel compelled to, please share this forum. Today's inspirational soul of light is Queen Lili U Kaloni, as she was the first reigning Hawaiian queen and the last Hawaiian sovereign to govern the Kingdom of Hawaii, which was annexed by the United States in 1898. Enjoy the Queen's beautiful statements and her beautiful quotes.